And oops, I'm doing this very poorly today. Very poorly. GM Farcaster. It is, what date is it today? June 5th. And you are here with Neynar, Prof, and Adrienne, and a very special guest, Les Gray. And look at that background. I can't even. It's amazing. I'm so excited to chat with you about this jacket and the auction that's going on. So we're going to jump into that towards the end of the show. We're going to do our regular show, and Les is going to be chiming in on all of our fun today. But first, I want to start with a little bit of CastOut news. So I'm going to do the official announcement of the next challenge. So here we go. GM Farcaster's On-Chain Summer has kicked off with CastOut. 16 players will try to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 DGen. Players will start in two tribes, Mole and Wowow. And today brings the second challenge. The two tribes will compete to see who has the most liked meme. Each tribe will post a meme in the channel of their choice at 3 p.m. Eastern today, and the meme with the most likes on Warpcast by tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern wins immunity. The losing tribe will cast out a player from their tribe. Note, owners of a channel may not be the ones who post in that channel, so be strategic in your casting. If you're not a cast out player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game. If you have a GM Farcaster Hypersub, you can claim free packs or pick up some shares at bracket.game. See the CastOut channel for more info. And don't forget to go like your favorite meme. Are you ready and on? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to Pinata.cloud for supporting CastOut and GM Farcaster. So GM to Adrienne, one of our CastOut players. So what do you think about your next challenge? How's it going? You guys got a little preview yesterday so that you'd have a little more time to prep. So how's it going?
Yeah, I almost think with memes, time works against you.
Good.
The beauty of a meme, right, is like you can't overthink it. So we're overthinking it. And it's Mole team. We're up against the likes of the meme king himself. That's non-linear. So we're the underdogs, I think. But we've got some surprises up our sleeves.
Okay. Okay. I'm excited. Excited to see what happens. Yes. What's really funny is that at one point yesterday, when they were getting ready to vote somebody off of their tribe, non-linear offered himself up to like, hey, I'll go if we don't want to vote. And then there was a discussion and they had no idea. And I'm like, oh, that would have been so funny if they had ever happened gotten rid of him before the meme challenge.
Has that ever happened in real Survivor?
Yes.
Oh, people have offered themselves off?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that happens. Where people are just done. They're like done with the game and they just want to be out. And they're just like, just vote me out.
Like, I just want to go home and take a shower.
Like, I just want pizza. Just get me out of here. Yeah, it happens. It happens on occasion.
I mean, then they've got like celebs like Ted, and I think her average cast gets like, 3 million likes. So
I will say this, you still have one additional person, and I did even out the two teams based on follower count. So they were even. So we'll see how it goes.
And to be fair, none of us are complaining. I think we got reach and we got bangers in our so
I am certain that this is going to be a close match, and we'll see.
However, to anyone listening, by the way, and the rules are, it's like, I think purposefully there's not a ton. So to anyone listening, if you like GM Farcaster, I'm throwing us in there. No, if you like Team Mole, and you have ideas for bangers, DM's open. Send me your suggestions.
And it's a Farcaster focused meme. That was it. That was the only rules, and that the owner of the channel couldn't post it. And I should have made a couple more rules, but I didn't. So we're just going to run with that. So there we go.
Okay. You said, so who defines Farcaster focus meme? Can someone get disqualified if the meme does not? No. Okay.
No. It's up to you guys. You guys determine what that means.
Okay.
So first off, if it's not a Farcaster focus meme, it just won't be a banger. So
exactly,
does it even matter, right?
Exactly. He gets it. So Les, I don't know if you've even been playing along or watching along with what's going on with CastOut. So we just launched on Monday, and Adrienne is on one of the teams. I'm running the game, but she has no idea anything that's coming. So it's all been planned by me. And so far, her team won the first challenge. So they out yoinked the other team because it was a yoink challenge. So it was pretty good. They did great, but this one definitely leans in the favor of the other team. So we'll see what happens. But anyone's game.
I was looking through bracket yesterday, I think it was, or the day before yesterday, and I was trying to understand what it was. The intro that you just played right there answered all of my questions. So
good.
First off, great job with that. Now I know how to follow along. The call to actions were super clear. But now I know that I can just go to bracket and bet, tap into my DGen roots and
exactly.
And
you can get on, start rooting for your favorite player. And there'll be some other moments where there are things that you can play along. So Monday, I was giving away some DGen to people who are yoinking in the public yoink and things like that. So I'm trying to incorporate some interactive moments where others can play. So so we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the things. And I do want to mention this before I forget. At 11:30 a.m. today, we are going to broadcast DeWoofy's Vibe Check 1. And that is his interview with Kojo. So I'm looking forward to that. And it'll be on this channel. And you can jump in the chat while we watch this pre-recorded. It is already out there. If you haven't seen it yet, this is a perfect time. Jump in and chat with us about this little interview. So I'm excited. So we're going to start doing that every Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. One of DeWoofy's Vibe Checks will be up until we run it. Till we run out of content, DeWoofy. It's all on you. So there you go. Excited. We've got a lot of fun things happening. I'll be providing live commentary. How awkward my face is. Okay. So that was that. So little note for Drew.
That's called karma, DeWoofy, for making fun of my face. Now we get to make fun of yours.
There you go. Exactly. And really quick, this is just the announcement in the CastOut channel about the meme the meme competition, and be looking for those memes today around 3 p.m. Eastern. And speaking of memes, love this transition, huh? I was ready for it. Over 207. This is from Sid Shikar. Over 273 different channels mentioned by folks as their favorite in this thread. Most often mentioned by unique FID mentions: masks, which I've never even been in that channel, memes, base, reply guys, DGen, hire, and art. So I'm surprised that masks is number one. But I was not unsurprised that memes was number two. So Les, what are your favorite channels? I have to ask.
Fashion, style.
Of course.
I go to I've been going to Miami often. Which ones do I have pinned at the moment?
And how about you, Adrienne? Did you agree with that list, or do you have different ones?
Also, also today I learned what masks was.
What is it? Give us a lowdown.
No, I didn't learn. I don't know what it is. I learned it exists.
Yeah, same for me. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Let's go.
There you go. Three Farcaster.
I missed the days. Oh, sorry.
No. Go for
it. Three Farcaster OGs who didn't know what mask is. There you go. And here it is. So discover masks. How to tip. They're masks. It's literally masks.
it's a description. It just says tokenize your engagement. So it's no wonder it has
tokenize
your
your
first
mask.
social token on Optimism, masks.wtf. Okay. I don't know, but there are masks involved. I see masks. So there you go.
Well, then I don't think we should be surprised to see token degen higher in the list. People like
exactly. Yeah.
People like their tokens.
People like their tokens. And people like their memes. Memes and reply guys are very similar. And then we have base for the builders. There you go. So what are your favorite channels?
Well, I just almost miss the days when we could even know where all the channels were. And if you remember from FarCon, Dan talked about kind of the Farcaster roadmap and cozy corners. So it feels almost unrealistic for us to sit here on a show and talk about like the most popular channels. Like if there's, tens of thousands of DAOs, there should be almost like thousands or at least hundreds of popular channels. So I do like I took a photo, iTap.
I like I took a photo too. That's a good one. I have to post this funny. Thank you, Mary. I was giving degen away to people who were yoinking was not a sentence I would have understood 6 months ago.
With you. I am right there with you.
That wasn't a sentence that existed 6 months ago, frankly, because degen didn't exist 6 months ago, but I just thought that was funny. I like iTap as well, I like art. And of course I'm always, hanging in the nouns channel and all the Dowish things.
Les, you have a personal channel, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you were one of the first ones to create a personal one.
I think there's several people in front of me, but I was definitely one of the first to probably request it. Because I had always been a very active note taker on Farcaster. So I was like, man, I hate spamming. How can I like privatize this in a way where it's like it's public but not private? But yeah, it's gray. Yeah, I've gone through 3 of them actually. So yeah,
that's great. And I love the private channels. I love the private channels. They're fun.
Why don't you have one?
I don't have one because I had so many other channels that I feel like I rarely don't have a place to put something. And if I don't have a place to put something, then maybe it doesn't need a channel is my feeling. So, and that's kind of the way I've approached it. If I have any, I like them. I really do like the personal channels. I find a lot of cool stuff in there, certain ones. And I know I've seen, yours last so many times. And like, I love 6, obviously. And, there's different ones that I vibe with, but I just haven't found I haven't found the need yet. But if I do, we'll add one.
We'll
add one.
But I have one. Yes, I created an Adrienne. So everyone's welcome to post wholesome and
what goes in Adrienne? What is the vibe of Adrienne?
It's just me. It is I don't know, mostly wholesome and
if you're a soccer mom, this is the channel for you.
But I'm not a soccer mom.
I know you're not. You're so not.
I'd say like wholesome, feel good.
Okay. You recently posted some Farcaster homework that you gave your kids.
Yes, she did. This was actually for the interns. Hold on. Let me pull that one up because that was pretty funny, actually. It was, Can you talk about this, Adrienne? This is pretty fun.
Yes, we have 2 high school interns. Maybe one of them may be my child. Maybe not. They have like, it's in between like when their finals are done and high school graduation. I'm telling you, I don't want them to hear this, but their minds are not totally in focus mode. They are in high school graduation party mode. So I have them, I needed to onboard them onto Farcaster first. So it was actually really interesting seeing, like, observing someone who is digitally native, but not crypto native on board, because they are mapping back to the socials they know. So TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat are mostly the 3 that they're using. And there's lots of things they could help us with, like content creation, video editing, just socials in general. But I really wanted them to learn some crypto basics. So I had them read Varun's sufficiently decentralized post that he wrote several years ago, which is kind of the vision for Farcaster. Had them read it. And then I posted a picture, and KBC was funny, and she's like, "Why are the interns printing out paper?" So they
because you made them.
No, I just said read it, but they printed it, they annotated, they highlighted it, and like in the margins, they asked all their questions. So then afterwards, they were asking me tons of great questions like, what's an ERC 721? What is a token? What is a protocol? Like, and then we had a great conversation, and I'd really love for them to, at some point, they have a write-up and it will be posted. So it's
all right, and let's give this a listen. This is their
At a home feed glow up. We made a few tweaks to bring your content front and center in feeds. We have a lot to talk about. People had feelings about this.
Didn't like it.
The
Lots
memes were
the memes
impeccable.
were phenomenal.
Never get comfortable, my friend. Brother Dan is going to change it up on you.
That's funny. They did a good job. They did a good job with their little teaser, with their little trailer. So well done, high school interns. Fantastic. It is really interesting. And we talked a little bit about this before the other day, that when you're teaching somebody about these things, it's interesting to see the things that you understand almost intuitively at this point, and things that are just completely lost on them. It's always surprising to me. Like,
yeah, but they did both get tipped degen within the first day or two, and that is something that is, it's like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's oh, I say I don't need money, but teens love money. Teenagers love it. So I helped them get. They did get wallets and ENSs. So and they're looking for followers. So BeccaRogers.eth and AlexSchull.eth.
Go follow.
Go
give
out.
a follow. Yeah. So funny. All right. In other news, we have this from Dan. Thoughts on building Farcaster apps in June 2024. I am not going to go through all of these, but I liked the style that he approached this one with giving sort of some, so should I build on Farcaster today? Yes, a few potential strategies, and then kind of giving an example for each of these. So sign in with Farcaster, build a narrow deep, use it for distribution, build ornithongolili. Can't even say that word. And play a different game. And I thought this was a really interesting approach. What did you think, Adrienne, on this?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I do like the potential things. I also, I appreciate Dan sharing. There were, these aren't the only, are they 5 options? I'm sure there's
just 5 of many.
I guess play a different game captures everything else. So if you're doing fashion on Farcaster or media on Farcaster, you can just bucket that under we're playing a different game, or we're using it for distribution or something. But I think it is, like for all of last year, a lot of the meta was about client, like who's building the competing client. And there's always that there's that underlying tension between Merkle and the, desire to grow the protocol and attract developers, but competing with a venture funded app that also has to win. And
so this was very interesting.
You get
on that same line of thought. This was from the Nook team yesterday. Decided today that we're not going to be working on Nook anymore. It was originally meant for us to play around with and learn new tech, and has served that purpose. We don't really see a path forward in contributing to build the client. So we're going to explore some non-Farcaster ideas, more to come. And he went on to say, Farcaster is a place for side projects right now, not serious companies. Maybe will change in a few years, but I don't believe we'll ever see another client compete with Warpcast, which makes it all less interesting to me with the lack of decentralization. So that was like, to that point, that was interesting to see. And I was really surprised because I thought they had just gotten funding from Variant. So unless they decided not to close that funding or decided to move in a different direction, I'm not exactly sure, but I thought I was really surprised by that. So that felt like it came out of nowhere, but obviously you never know what's going on in the background. So what thoughts?
Yeah, I actually disagree with that whole thing. It's not surprising to see Nook actually close down, but I disagree like pretty much with all of it. But I don't know where do we want to take that, because I can opine on that very strongly.
Well, Adrienne, do you have some thoughts, and then maybe we can play off of that? Yeah.
Yes. And just even we started as a side project. Like, so one, I think people can agree at least that Farcaster is like an incredible place for side projects and experimentation and learning. And that's great. Yeah. I think the piece that is the more controversial piece that people are wanting to have opinions on is, can you build a competitive client today?
Right.
Or can you build a competitive client, and can you have a venture funded
like at what level
on Farcaster?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's interesting there is the part I definitely agree with is you're not going to scale a business that's equal to the size of Warpcast, because it's the same social graph, right? Like if you're using the data the same, you're going to compete on the same level. It's like trying to run a marathon that someone that has already started 2-3 miles ahead of you. Right, like you're not gonna attain that. So then the question becomes like what Dan put out, which is like building orthogonal, building niche cases, and so it's how do you bring on the new people to Farcaster to start creating that social graph that enables this composability stack to provide a differentiated use case than someone like Warpcast. I think that is such an underexplored, and it has been since I've been here. But now that the Farcaster protocol is actually at a stage where it has enough data, whether it's bot or not, we can debate. Whether it's differentiated enough, we can debate, which I think it is, as we just found out with Mask, that we didn't even know about. Like, there's already microcultures already brewing. I think Brian was one of, like, with Unlonely was probably one of the first ones to have like his own microculture. But I disagree with the part where he says like there's the client decentralization. It's really up to somebody to build the solution on top of the protocol. And I think it's how creative someone can get in order to onboard use cases. I think the onboard flow is definitely kind of like Adrienne just mentioned about her interns. It is a little sticky. I've noticed the same thing. Well, the approach that I'm starting to take right now with the things that I'm working on is like I'm actually hand-holding some of these people like Dan was early on, like hand-holding them in, kind of get them in. And once they're in the door, that's it. It's like, hey, they can come back. Like you can ping them. They can come back very easily. And I'm focused on the fashion side of things now. And I'm like more and more so getting deeper into that. But I think really it falls on how creative can you get with the social graph that is extremely powerful. And then how do you make communication layers for your own use cases, which Dan and Varun, I think, proved out like the model of how you can get there and scale it like really well. And now it's just a matter of like other people copying that in their own kind of where Dan kind of lists it. Like, yeah. So
once you get used to signing in with Farcaster and seeing your graph, not on a Farcaster clone or like not another social clone, but it's the bringing your graph to other clients. I get so annoyed when I can't do that now. Like it just becomes, you get it once or twice and you're like, oh, now I'm going to expect that everywhere I go on the internet. And
who was it that just did a really cool use case? It's not very built out, but it's like it uses the Farcaster social graph, but it does it with music. And like you select some of your favorite artists, and then it pairs you with like other people that like those kinds of artists and how many connections, and you can poke them and stuff like that. It hasn't been fully built out for functional like use cases, but like to just see the social graph in that new way is actually very interesting.
Is it Sonata?
Yeah, someone just said Sonata in the KBC said Sonata.
For the music one client,
maybe. Let me check. I downloaded it.
But I do want to shout out Sloke, and I'm forgetting his co-founder's name.
Yeah, EMC, EM.
It's like one of those things you can read it, but you don't actually know
Yeah.
Something
Something like
anyway,
that. Yeah.
it's just, look, it's hard to build and to build in public. And so it's like they started something as a side project. People loved it. Like they had passionate users that were using it. And I think it's hard to come to terms that it's not what they want to continue doing, or it's not aligned to their goals in terms of building. So
it's so hard to do that.
Yeah. It's just hard. So I just really want to applaud their efforts and for building something that people liked. I love that they said they want to open source it. So just the ethos of,
I did love that.
Giving it's still contributing. And I think that's incredible. And I think it is going to be very hard to compete with Warpcast on a client. And I don't think it's ever. I don't think
I think it's now. I think there's not enough users for it to be sustainable long-term unless it's something really different. And even then, for now, but I think you have to, if you believe that it's going to continue to grow.
Now could be years. I mean, we don't know what the timeline is. It could be a long time, but I know for me, I would not be here if I didn't think Farcaster as a protocol was going to be an ecosystem where many, many, many builders could build on top of, creating, new sources of value for many different people in and I don't know what it looks like, but I think the minute I don't believe that, I probably
we got a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but
I do want to answer this question from the chat. KBC asked about the Nouns clients, and they were funded for a 3-month development time period, and then I believe there's going to be some kind of demo day, and the clients will go live. So, it's another interesting approach, but we have no idea how that's going to play out either, because this is the first time that a channel is funding a client experiment. So we'll see how it goes. A few other things that I want to touch on before we chat with Les about that amazing jacket. This was from Dillstack. Excited for this new NFS feature. That's Neynar frames. You can now, the non-code frames. You can now remix any frame yourself or others have made with Neynar. The demo below shows how to remix any frames.neynar.com frame. Perfect for adding a twist to your favorite frames, as I do below with Itai's from Dynamics recent on-chain summer frame. And this was really cool. It looked very simple to do as well. So I'm really excited I really got to dive into Neynar's new frame studio. It looks really impressive in terms of ease of use as well. So that was cool to see. This from Dan V. This is from actually from VICC, Farcaster Travel Friends. What aspects of Airbnb do you dislike? What can we improve about Airbnb? And then Dan sort of recasted this with a little bit more context. VICC is a senior engineer at Airbnb looking for thoughtful feedback. And what I thought was interesting about this is there's a senior engineer from Airbnb looking for feedback on Farcaster. I just thought that was really cool. So
look at where he used to work. Look at where he used to work, and it will.
I can't imagine. I'm not even going to look. I know exactly where he used to look.
And it will all make sense.
I know. He's part of the mafia. We didn't get to this the other day.
Which, by the way, just goes to show, if you're not part of the Coinbase mafia, you can cry with me that we weren't there either, because we would be in a different place. But
Jomo,
we're here. We're here. We're part of the Farcaster mafia.
Exactly. And it's like enough said.
Enough said. I do want to just point this out. We didn't get to this frame the other day, but somebody built a frame to value your account. Apparently, Linda's is worth over $73 million. Anyone want to buy my Farcaster account? She says with laughing emoji. And then my comment on this was, of course, to you, Adrienne. I'm not sure we can use that whole "this is not your worth" thing, since it's literally giving your worth, but not really. But I'm never selling anyway, so mine's only worth $330,000.
Only.
But also never selling it anyway. And this was your comment back. Fun frame indeed. It tells you the worth of your Farcaster account, not your self-worth. Did you make someone smile today? Do you have your health? Is there someone who loves you for you? Are you kind, compassionate? Did you learn something new recently? All worth more than your Farcaster account could ever be. So I do think it's a fun little approach to kind of trying to quantify influence on Farcaster. So I will say that, but also not your worth. I also want to point this out. This was really, really cool. This is from an area base. This on-chain summer, we're opening up our incredible expandable font and billboard mockup for you to remix permissionlessly. To get the files, mint directly on the linked site, and you'll see a button to download the files. And this was really cool. I haven't seen something like this before as smooth as it was. Usually there's some kind of online, not on-chain way that you then have to go to and have a token-gated experience. This was, you go to this site, you mint this NFT, and then there's a pop-up to download the files. So you could download the fonts and
you can only access there's the download token gated to
exactly. You have to mint in order to download it. The mint is a free mint, like a 0.000777 mint. Free. I count that as free. You know what I mean? Free-ish. Free in our way. But I thought that was really, really cool. A really cool experience. Very well done. And
shout out. This is so at FarCon 1 or FarCon the beta, I remember having a conversation with Wit, who was working on a startup that was doing kind of this. It was like almost like for publishers, but it was, how do you token gate actual content? Because right now, in the earlier NFTs, it's just right click save and you have access to it. But and unfortunately, his startup where he was working ran out of runway, and I think they shut down and weren't able to do it. And it's just that reminder, it's like timing is so important too. And so it's somewhat sad to see the path littered of startup.
It happens.
But at some point, everything gets built. It seems like. Anyway, my base.
Yep. I do want to, it will get built eventually. I do want to mention one last shout out. This was really funny. You ended up with your bounty, even though you were trying not to get the bounty. Damn, I just got my first bounty, even though I said I didn't want it. I guess this is the stuff we'll just have to live with in our permissionless world. So check out AVS Hackathon, follow DABIT3, I guess Dabbit3.
Yeah, he's huge
learn
on Twitter.
about
He's
Eigenlayer.
a huge DevRel, massively awesome, and like he's becoming very active on Farcaster now. So
that's fun. Yeah. And this bounty was a little different. It was to promote or to share what they were doing to spread awareness. So this was a bounty to anyone who can help best spread awareness about the new Eigenlayer AVS Hacks Hackathon. So cool, very cool. A lot of fun. And lastly, we got to get to this. So Les, this is why Les is joining us today. This is a silent auction for the World Builder jacket, Purple Ether, designed for and worn by V. And so tell us, what are you doing? First of all, and we are going to go a little long today if you haven't figured that out, because we're already over our 29 minutes. But let's start with what is this jacket? Why did you build it? And then let's share about what you're doing now with the jacket.
So I'm building jackets for Farcaster, but more so like on a longer runway term, it's like I'm trying to build a collection. But last year at FarCon 1, we built this one jacket. Dan wore it, and I think I obviously developed a reputation for that jacket and whatnot. And then I think around February of this year, Dan posted a cast about dancing on stage if we had 100,000 quality daily active users, and someone pinged me. I hadn't seen it, and someone pinged me like, hey, we need to make this happen. And I'm like, meme, URL, IRL, let's figure this out. So so I took that, I kind of tried to figure out how we can make it work, and now we have two jackets, right? Like, well, this one actually, and the one Dan wore. And so the main purpose really is it's really about bringing like the URL meme to life in our like IRL interactions. And so it's inspired by Dan. The community obviously tagged me to like get me involved and like say, hey, like how do we actually make this thing fun and engaging? And in a matter of 2-3 months, we had 2 jackets that are sequin based, and that's how Dan, right there. Dan and Varun got on
I was looking for the picture. It took me a minute to find it, but there it is. The World Builder jackets as worn on stage at FarCon.
Yeah. So these are cut from the same pattern as the ones that are going to start delivering July 1st, which is part of that cut there. Same style, same pattern. The difference is that on this guy, we added a second piece to create this V for Varun. So what isn't very public is like I designed both of these with Dan and Varun in mind, although none of them had agreed to wear it at the time. And so I designed them. I had them made, took some pictures. I sent them to Dan and Varun. I'm like, hey, would you guys be willing to like wear these to your Q&A? I wasn't going to be able to present at FarCon, and like I had several logistics complications, and they both agreed. Like they're like, yeah, let's do it. And this one is meant to resemble actually kind of like the reason it's called Purple Ether is, let me just get the needle off. Oh, I didn't.
By the way, I didn't pick up that it was a V. I just thought it was kind of thriller jacket inspired.
Yeah, I thought it was like
so perfect.
I thought
it
was like maybe Star Trek inspired or something. It looked Star Trek-ish to me.
It's actually the Ethereum.
Oh
diamond,
wow! Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think of that.
No way.
So yeah, it was inspired by the Ethereum diamond, inspired by the sufficiently decentralized social networks that Varun wore, and then it was inspired by the V. It was inspired by the Thriller jacket because if you notice that Michael Jackson's Thriller jacket has that V shape as well. So it was like it's a combination of stuff, and just the ability to actually bring all that together, I think was a lot of fun. Dan's jacket, which you don't have here, and maybe we'll do that on the next auction when we start doing that. His was more like, hey, Dan has this calm, cool, collected personality. We got to make him like glow, but at the same time, we can't put him out there too much. And Varun's personality, in my opinion, is like it's much more out there. So kind of worked out like that.
You put them both in purple sequins. I don't think we can be more subtle. I mean, yeah. They're both pretty bold, but they're amazing. I love Dan's jacket. Actually, I like that one. Obviously, that style to me was a little. I just that was cool. So
me too.
It's amazing though. These are so fun. And somebody said, "Are you dry cleaning the jackets before auctioning them off?"
Of course not.
Of course, I mean, not. They want like, no, you won't get
who would want
to Dan?
Why would you want your? Why would you not want to smell like Dan and Varun?
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. I'm retracting my bid. Somebody said that's funny. So this is really fun. And what is this gonna? I think you said this was a charity. Is this a charity auction?
So we're gonna. So I have been trying to figure out what where I'm most aligned. And yesterday I kind of came to the conclusion that I want to take the proceeds and donate them to the Virgil Abloh Scholarship Foundation. For a variety of reasons. He's the one that kind of inspired me and taught me like the things that I've learned through the fashion. And on top of that, I learned about like Virgil through the Farcaster community. And so like his name has popped up so many times in our community. Just several days ago, someone was talking about how they inspired them. And so I just thought it would make the most sense to try to start there and kind of move through and try to mesh communities. That's really like my overall goal is like working fashion and tech, kind of the middle ground between that and trying to mesh those two worlds.
That's a great choice. And I really think that, had he lived longer, we would have seen him be a powerhouse in the space. honestly. I think he would have really taken to what we, the NFT space for sure.
Yeah. He was working. It's called the skyscraper project with. I think he was working with Zora and Jacob on a NFT project, and I mean I learned that through those guys as well. Like they posted the PDF, and so he was thinking about the things we're thinking about. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. He was definitely tech and art and fashion inspired. So I mean, obviously fashion, but also just art in general. So. Virgil, what a loss. Anyway, I think that's a great way just to use those funds and sort of honor him with this sort of fun approach. And I really appreciated that they were willing to wear these, and like go a little out of the comfort zone because they don't come off as purple sequin kind of people on a daily basis. Maybe they are. I mean, I don't know. I don't see them every day. But I think that, speaks to a lot of the culture of Farcaster in terms of supporting builders, but also having fun, right? And not taking things so seriously and having fun and going a little out of the comfort zone and all those things. And I loved it. So well done. That you got them to do that and wear those, and it was amazing. So
it's only going to get crazier every year, hopefully. So next year, maybe top and bottom. The year after that,
oh boy,
yeah.
Okay,
we're starting a tradition.
All right,
right. So
fantastic.
someone can bid on the auction. They get the there's an NFT, digital NFT, plus the actual jacket that has Varun sweat in it, startup sweat. And money goes to a good cause. And just think about, you own a piece of Farcaster, early Farcaster lore, and just think about how valuable that'll be at FarCon 10.
Yeah. So we have a couple questions in the chat. One is more suggestions for your next clothing items. From Dewufy, gray thong, GREY thong. TM, he's going to trade
his and hers
be fantastic. And then Naomi proposed a kimono. All right, especially if it's FarCon Tokyo, would make a lot of sense. And then we have this from Yes to Crypto. Is it a blind bid or are they public? Is the auction public?
Blind
bid. Okay.
No.
Interesting. All right. Anything else that you want to share about when does the bidding end, by the way?
It's 5 days as of Monday. So we're on the third day today. I'll probably do a bit of a marketing blitz the next several days, and depending on how it goes, we'll close it off Friday or maybe let it lead into the weekend. But next week we start fans checking.
Do you have a reserve?
I don't.
Set? Okay.
I don't. No. We weren't technically. We didn't want to put too many barriers to just getting the auction launched. Ideally, that would have been great. But just technically, it just wasn't as feasible to try to get things done so quick.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Anything else that you want to share about this, or any other questions, Adrienne? Oh, when do our jackets start to ship out?
July 1st.
Ooh, this is exciting.
I just got these back from the embroidery because this has kind of been the holdup. So I've been trying to get the chest pieces embroidered properly. So
oh wow, okay, amazing.
So that, and then I have the FID numbers and a couple other labeling stuff that has to come in.
Wow.
But yesterday we got all the fabric. We're actually going to start producing a lot of the jackets in the next week or two, and then and each jacket, like even the purple ether and Dan's jacket, they'll all be like chip enabled. So you'll be able to register them when you get them, and hopefully we'll be able to tie them to your Farcaster identity. And then next thing you know, you have a social graph that has your closet.
That includes jackets. That includes our closet. That's amazing. I love that. I love the idea of this, and I really think there is a practical purpose for especially very high end or collectible items in terms of, first of all, being able to proof of ownership if you're reselling in terms of like collectibles. If you think about $10,000 handbags, for example, being able to have those also noted on the blockchain and show proof of authenticity, I think is really helpful. But even just to do fun things like, I'm going to drop a PO app, or I'm going to drop a allow list to all my jacket holders, and they can click the RFID and whatever, they have this new thing. I think that's super cool.
It's the unlock between that. It's the unlock between the IRL and URL space, and then how do you create brand loyalty, and how do you actually create like this element of fun when you go out into the IRL that's connected to your URL. That's really what we're thinking within that design space and building on top of Farcaster when we're doing this stuff. We're slow, as the meta theme right now is slow.
Slow core design. And I wish, so for people who weren't at FarCon, the beta, Les gave a talk.
One. FarCon
1. Okay.
We call it the beta.
I got my challenge coin on my desk, and it says FarCon the beta, June 10th.
Oh, fair.
10-year anniversary. But for those that weren't there, Les gave a talk, and Les, one of my most memorable moments of FarCon, I think, tied with 100 other moments, but you gave a talk about kind of the role that design and fashion plays with like in technology and Farcaster. And it really opened my eyes to things. Like it made me think differently. And I just completely had separated fashion from building, and you dubbed it World Builder Jacket and talked about kind of identity. And it was really, by the way, can we do a Cameron, when are the videos being put out?
Cameron, this is your periodic shout out that we'd love the recordings from last year. You told us
you were going to put out the recordings, and we'd really love to see Les's talk. So I don't know, Les, I might need an encore someday. But I just remember Dan. Yeah, do you remember I tried on the jacket, and I was like, oh, I feel like a builder, and talked about kind of what it does, what does fashion do to you? And I don't remember. You'll do the talk again, but it was so good, and I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for coming. I love that you're still building and it's I feel really honored and grateful to share this space with you.
Well, I don't think I'd be around if it weren't for you two and many others that support me. So
amazing. And we're excited to see our jackets come through, but also to see who ends up with this one and what they do with it. That'll be interesting. So I'm looking forward to how this all turns out. And with that, couple quick announcements. Remember, look for the memes today. They'll be coming out with the CastOut tribes very soon. Look for those around 3 p.m. Eastern. And also 11:30 a.m. Eastern, a couple hours from now, Vibe Check 1 will be playing on this channel. And it'll be on all of our usual places. So very exciting. And so thank you, Les, for popping by. We really appreciate it. And with that, we're going to say bye-bye and close out with a few closing credits. So bye-bye, everybody.